The link for the real song this time.
Wow.
Doesn't it make me look like a member of the Gorillas?
Yeah, that's kind of. Yeah, I'm some deaf or something.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of WeinerCast. I'm here with one of my favorite people of all time. She's becoming a regular at this point. Give it up for Reika, everybody. All right.
I enjoy being here. It's fun hanging out with you and doing what we do, which is kind of like watching movies and talking about them now.
Yes, when the first time you brought up just like, hey, let's just start watching movies, whatever, I was all like, yes.
And well, I didn't forget watching movies. I brought watching bad movies.
Yeah.
That was part of it too.
Yeah.
And that was part of the appeal, I think, right?
That was part of the appeal, but I think it's like we still watch bad movies, but then we're kind of like shifting around, jumping around a bit, you know, like it's cool. Like, but yeah, I was just like, I love bad movies. Bad movies are some of my favorite, you know.
Well, and like last night, I love silent films. I mean, you know that, but like I watched a few of them on YouTube last night. You know, so I love good movies too. You know, and I watched them that are like 110 and 112 years old. They turned that this year, and so I love that. But then to have that moment of just watching a bad movie too is so enjoyable. And again, I think I mentioned it the last time, that balance of that healthy diet of like the healthy or like the good movies and the junk food, the bad movie, you know, like need that balance. Yeah.
But then when you were all like, dude, we should WeinerCast about these movies too, and I was all like, yeah,
we get to talk about them too.
I was like, I always want a WeinerCast, and one of my favorite people wants to be a part of that.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Always. And anytime you want to jump on and just be a part of the shenanigans, you're always welcome.
Well, anytime. Just let me know whatever you're talking about. And if I'm available, yeah.
Heck yeah. Man, we watched some great movies this last, or what we're talking about today anyways. Like,
but it kind of backfired though, because I had come up with the idea because we had first talked about like a couple of bad movies that we loved.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that was the first time, which is what we had talked about the last time, Kingdom of the Spiders and
Mystery Team. Yeah.
But this time I was like, let's pick something just like based off the title or the description that it sounds bad. Something we've never seen.
Yes.
Kind of backfired a little bit though.
It did because
a little.
Killdozer is still like a bad movie, but it was highly enjoyable to just.
It was better than what we had expected. You mentioned it, so do you want to go right into that?
We're going to do Killdozer first because Rubber is definitely the better movie, so we'll end off with that one. Yeah, for sure.
I just saw that it was about a bulldozer that was controlled by an alien, kills construction workers. And I was like, we got to watch this.
Yeah.
In 1974 or 76, I think, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And I looked again. I don't think it was a made for TV, not like the Savage Bees. I think this one, because Universal released it. So, because I watched a little bit of it last night, just because when we were watching it that night, I think the audio was down a little bit lower than it was like even the last time we'd watched movies. Okay. So I was like, I just want to make sure like some of the characters' names were right, because I remember what happened. Just trying to.
I don't remember any of the characters' names.
Dutch, you remember Dutch?
Dutch.
with his buddies.
Dutch is my buddy, man.
He always has buddies. That's the whole thing. Like, he has like so many. This whole movie is like full of a character named Dutch, and he's just buddies and friends with all of these guys.
Well, the first guy that got killed, dude, he was really heartbroken because like, he got the dude the job and all that shit, dude. Like, even when I made the joke,
that's what he first said. That's my buddy, and that's part of that. Like, it's
like he's nobody else's buddy.
He's like, he's my buddy.
It's my buddy, man.
And then we started talking about the doll, My Buddy. Do you remember that? The My Buddy and Kid Sister dolls.
Yes. Because
it's like it's
my buddy and me. But like the moment I made the joke, I mean, it's all like, man, I got the guy the job, you know, like he wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me. He even brought that up later in the movie. He was all like, you know, I got that guy his first, like whatever dumb shit. Because that's just stuff I hear on when I'm on similar job sites, you know. It's all like, man, you see that son of a bitch down there, man? I actually got him this gig, you know. I'm like, good for you, you're cool. Like nobody cares.
But yeah, this movie, it was interesting. It had a little more, slightly more of a solid plot than we thought it would.
Yeah. What was the name of like the bulldozer?
It was I made a couple of notes, but I didn't know that it was a D9.
D9.
Yeah.
I totally swear that part of this movie was just a commercial just to show off of what the D9 can do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was. Because when I was rewatching, I didn't watch the whole thing. I just kind of went through at certain points.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're just showing this machine off.
Yeah, that's all they're doing.
It's not even like it was super. I mean, it was really funny when it came to life and was possessed and decided it was going to kill. That was really funny because like the eyes, and it was just like, and it moved in the slowest way, which I thought was great too. Like,
oh, it had that like just that stalker vibe, you know.
Yeah. Well, remember when it kept like at the cliff when they were like down below?
Yeah.
And he was like up on the cliff and it would like move forward. And then when it would like, they would catch it and look, it would like move back. And then move forward. I have to say though, the funniest, and I like, the death scenes weren't as, I don't think, hilarious as something like Kingdom of the Spiders, where it was just so over the top.
Yeah.
But Dutch's, spoiler alert, Dutch's death scene was definitely, I think, one of the most entertaining, because you had brought it up, similar to that scene in Austin Powers, where the guy was about to be flattened.
And it
was so far away and so slow, and so many options and moments for like Dutch to move.
Yeah.
And he just like sat there trying to still start the car, and
the same thing happened.
And it just, the way it was cutting, it was just like, are you serious?
The same thing happened with the one dude who like crawled into the pipe or whatever, and the bulldozer just crushed the pipe or whatever. It's like he was just like running circles around Killdozer, and like he could have just just run away. That thing moves at 5 miles an hour at that, you know, like. And it takes forever to turn around. So like the description is wrong. It's not possessed by aliens per se, but it's possessed by a meteorite.
Yeah.
And at one point, like when it got possessed, the meteorite was gone. But then later they were able to find pieces of it to like analyze it or whatever. and like none of them were scientists at all. They were just construction workers, but they're still trying to like figure out what like the meteorite is and whatever. Like, and like they never showed that anybody like going to the site to find the rock or whatever. You know, it was just all fucking trying to just figure out what was wrong with the machine. You know, like the dude cut the main guy, the foreman. I forgot his name.
I don't remember.
He cut the brake lines and he disconnected the machine so it couldn't run. You know, and they start talking about like, oh, this has happened before with another faulty machine or whatever. And they make no reference to that ever again.
No.
And then the mechanic guy who's always smoking a cigar, except for like one scene, he's not. And I'm like, what? Dude, I don't even recognize this guy anymore. The mechanic guy, he fixes it, and then fucking all hell breaks loose. The Killdozer is alive like, once more, ready to advertise the shit out of these deaths.
Well, yeah, and everything was, and a D9 can do this, and a D9 does this, and a D9 does. It was very like talking about promoting that machine.
Yeah. Like, just as long as your D9 doesn't get possessed by a meteorite, this is a fucking top-notch machine right here.
Yeah. Well, and we got a little confused at one point, if you remember, about the location, the specific location.
It was on the coast of Africa.
Well, no, because, well, I mean, it was, but how we were like, how far are they to the ocean? Versus, because remember where they were burying?
When they're burying the people who were right on the coast.
Versus, and I mean, it's like, where is? I mean, it got like, wait, where are they?
Yeah, we have.
You know, like that was kind of.
When because they're burying everybody. They're right on the coast. You could see the waves coming in. Yeah. And then when they were burying like two other people in the exact same spot, all of a sudden they're like miles away from, well, you can't see the beach at all.
Yeah.
And then here comes Killdozer freaking causing like the stupidest avalanche fucking ever.
Oh, yes. That was.
It's like they're 100 feet away from those rocks, man. Like but then all of a sudden they're closer to the cliff.
Yeah. I know. See, that was kind of like, wait a minute now.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on around here?
Like, are they digging up and reburying the bodies so they can be close, you know, or just
whatever? Yeah.
More so in reality, it was just poor planning and poor element of filmmaking there.
Hey. Don't knock what the D9 can do. The D9 moved them bodies on its own.
Yeah.
And they just already knew where the new location was.
Then there was the epic battle at the end.
Oh man, when they're trying to set up like an EMP and stuff. He's like, we'll lay down the electric blanket or whatever they were doing. They got it down, man. The mechanic and the foreman, man, saved the day.
Yeah. And the foreman never went back to drinking.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be a huge plot point. I mean, it was, but like you thought, like with all this shit that's going on, he's going to take a sip or whatever, and then he's going to just go off the deep end, but still end up saving the day somehow.
Yeah.
But then he ends up just being a drunk afterwards. But no, dude, he fucking stayed true to his program. They were razzling him too. They're all like, "Come on, man, have a drink, you fucking drunk," you know. Like, at first it was behind his back, but then like when shit was like, there's like, we're probably not going to survive. They're like, just have a drink, dude. Like, nope, not going to do it. Stay off the hooch, boys.
Going back to Dutch, I just got to go back to him, but he was like bound and determined to have that boomer discussion.
The what?
That's what it says in the comments. Boomer discussion.
Where?
In the live comments.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, there's like 2 that I'm seeing.
I don't see anything.
Well, did Killdozer take over your computer somehow and you can't see it?
Probably.
Did a meteorite hit your computer, Weiner? Come on now.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Yeah, it says I'm alive, and then at 7:54 it says boomer discussion. Dot dot dot.
So you were talking because that just threw me off because you're like, well, Dutch wanted to have that boomer discussion.
I know, boomer. Yeah.
Like,
No, I
man,
definitely have the
nobody talking about boomers back then.
yeah. But he was like hellbound on going to drive to the ocean, remember?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how his life ended then, because his car got stalled and everything. Or, he not stalled, but it stopped working. But
that was me.
well, I can see both of those at least. I can see both comments you put.
Yeah. Well, it's the same comment just on 2 separate chats.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see it at least. But yeah. Because I guess we're having a boomer discussion. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean,
the arms of an angel. Can you see comments now?
No, I can't see anything.
It says in the arms of the angel.
Oh no, I think it's little boy. I think it's either little boy or
Hentai Slayer is the one who's posting this.
Yeah, that's little boy Hentai Slayer. Like they have this whole thing where I was doing a let's play for this game and I was at the end boss and I was like, dude, we're beating this fucking game. I was like determined, like, and I'm fighting hard on this end boss and it ends up killing me. And I apparently had this look on my face of like sadness or whatever, and then they started making memes about me nonstop, like, oh man, poor Timon, fucking, oh man, and they started making like in the arms of the angel memes and stuff. I can find them on one of our chats that we have. I'll send them to you.
But I can't even hear that song like when it comes on the radio or anything without thinking of the animal cruelty videos, or not videos, but like commercials.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so ingrained now in it just, yeah.
Dude, Sarah McLachlan, man, she's got it going on.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't even know what else she's doing. She was huge when I was in high school, but that was it.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah. That's too bad. She was pretty decent. And then, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I like some of her music.
I really don't know what she's done, really, besides Arms of the Angel, so...
Yeah. I'm going to mute myself for 1 second, okay?
All right. Man, I can't... It makes me mad I can't see the live chat. Oh, my God. Maybe if I refresh... I'm worried about what will happen if I refresh. I'm going to test this out real quick, see what happens. I'm going to hit refresh.
It's just me now! So, since Weiner's gone, I don't know what else I'm going to talk about. Oh,
right, I can see everything now.
You can, yeah.
All right. Well, my Twitch comment disappeared, but that's fine.
I can still see it, so.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, no, he was just hellbound to go to the ocean. And they're just like, no, stay here with us, stay here. And he's like, I want to go drive in the ocean. And he just went off. And then
he took their fucking car, man.
And then when I was watching that death scene, it was just so funny because it was so like, it's slowly coming in and it's just him there. And it's like they're so far away. And then it was like that Austin Powers thing. And then they're just standing there. They're not even running after him trying to save him. They're just standing there watching it happen. And then they like you just see him like, and you're just like, yeah, you probably could have tried to stop him.
Well,
I think they had it with him by then. I mean, him and all his buddies. I mean, I called everyone my friend, the buddy, but I think they were just kind of like, oh, we can do it on our own.
Right. Hentai Slayer. I still hate that name.
But yeah, I don't really know much else about it. I mean, it was just one of those. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, even more over the top and cheesy than what it was.
I think it was actually pretty solid of a film, like for what it was.
Yeah.
And with the time period, like it looked nice, like it was good quality. They had good story elements, good pacing. I don't think there was a boring scene at all. Like even with like when they're doing exposition and everything, it was still like it felt like work. You know, like when we're just sitting around, just like bantering or whatever. Like it felt nice. You know, like that's one of my favorite things about like jobs like that is like you're free to like say and do whatever you want within reason, of course. You know, like I remember this one day we're like hammering some truss and stuff together, and one of my coworkers yells out to another guy, it's like, "Hey, why don't you put down your purse and swing that hammer like a man?" And then he instantly got reported to HR from someone else. And then the call steward came up to him. He's all like, "Yeah, we just got a report from from something that you said." He was all like, "Just try not to do that anymore." And he's like, "What type of fucking flip dick?" He starts yelling to the floor. "What type of fucking flip dick bitching at me about?" I was like, dude, when I heard about, because me and that specific person were roommates at the time, and he was telling me all about it. And I was all like, well, like, just watch what you say. He's all like, "No, man, fuck them. If they can't take it, they shouldn't be on." I'm like, just watch what you say, man. Just calm down. Yeah, so like, so you're allowed to say whatever you want within reason, you know, like, and those guys were just having a good time at first, anyways, until Dutch's buddy dies, you know, like.
Well, and they were only 5 days away from ending the project too.
Yeah, they were real close to ending the project, and everything starts fucking up. Killdozer isn't having any of that shit, dude.
Killdozer destroyed the outside like communication.
When he was heading towards the computer, and he just like knocked it over at first. I'm like, oh, that's fine. And then he just completely runs it over. I'm referring to Killdozer as a he. I don't know why. It's just like generically set up in my head to do it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, at first it was like it barely knocked over too, it like slowly tipped over. It's like, oh, that's fine. And that's what I thought it was just gonna be. It was just like he knocked it over, and then all of a sudden, like, oh no, it's broken. It fell in the soft dirt. It fell in the sand. Yeah, but then it crushes it completely. I was like, oh fuck, dude, they need that, dude. Like they were just using that to communicate with the outside. Outside's like, yeah, we'll bring help in like 10 days or whatever. Like, what, dude? We're not even that far along with we're farther along with the project than.
Yeah.
But we need Dutch's buddy to finish. We need medical assistance. We need all this stuff, and they weren't going to get it till like way after they needed it. I mean, it's hard. I guess it's hard to get to Africa in 1974 on time. I don't know. I wasn't even thought of yet. You know, I was born 12 years later.
Yeah. I'm an 82 baby, so yeah.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, my parents hadn't even met yet. So yeah.
I think my mom, I think my parents graduated somewhere around in the 70s.
Mom was 70 and dad was 73.
Yeah, I'm not 100% certain, but yeah, somewhere around then. Like, I know my mom was 30 when I was born in 86. So like, so maybe not the 70s, maybe, yeah, like somewhere in the 60s then. I don't know, man. It just makes everybody seem older than what they seem to be. Start talking about the 60s, like, shoot.
I know. We got an okay boomer over here. So.
Oh, dude, they think I'm an old man just because.
Like, oh no, they probably think I'm the old woman. I'm older than you.
I know you're older than me, but they're not gonna talk shit about you. They always roast the hell out of me, and I'm okay with it. Just because I just constantly make a fool of myself anyway, so it's. How would you rate Killdozer?
10 being the greatest, and 1 being, like never again. Yeah, I gotta give it like maybe I'm gonna say a 6, just because it wasn't the greatest, like as enjoyable as like Kingdom of the Spiders, which I had given it higher. So there was a little more of like a comedic aspect to that kind of.
Yeah.
But it wasn't terrible, so I'm gonna give it a 6. Yeah, I did, like I said, watch it again, but I didn't watch it like completely throughout, just trying to get little points in and stuff. Just
yeah, just notes and stuff. Yeah. Totes.
What about you?
I'm gonna one up you just a tad. Give it a 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Close to a 7.
It's a crime roasting Reka.
Thanks.
No, that's what the comment is.
I know. I see. I can see everything now. Yeah, that's straight facts, though, dude. Like, if they started roasting you, dude, I'd go in on them.
Okay, so we're about the same, 6.5. So,
6.5, like, yeah, it had solid movie beats or whatever. Like, it wasn't as bad as we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Even though our rating system is kind of wonky because we're rating bad movies better than actually more solid motion pictures.
I don't know though. The silent films I watched last night, I definitely would give them higher markings than we've been giving. I would give those like a 9 or a 10 because given the age, the fact that they are like one of them was 110 this year, another one was 112. And I'm like, that's actually more entertaining than some of the stuff that's out now. They got my attention. So that was interesting.
When me and Jeremy were doing the Adam Sandler thing, like I couldn't find the second 2 movies he was in, so they went straight to Coneheads, even though it's not necessarily a Sandler film, but he's in it, so we counted it anyway. We gave Coneheads a freaking 10 out of 10. Both of us gave Coneheads a 10 out of 10. Well, actually, I gave it a 9 because I don't believe in perfection.
Yeah.
So, but he gave it a 10. He's all like, dude, it's talking about everything that's going on today. It's talking about immigration. It's talking about the Me Too movement, kind of. It's talking about, there were parts where it talked about like everything that's literally going on today. And I was like, shoot, dude, people need to watch this movie right now, dude. Like,
I feel like I need to watch it now again.
And it's short too. It's an hour 27 minutes. And it's not bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jeremy gave it a 10. I was all like, no, dude, it's 9. I don't believe in perfection. It's a 9. But yeah, Coneheads, go back and watch that. Go watch Killdozer. It's free on YouTube. And everyone will enjoy themselves watching Killdozer.
They will want to be Dutch's buddy.
I want to be Dutch's buddy.
That's what you're saying there in the movie. You're like, this guy, I'll be his buddy. I'm like, okay.
He cares so much about his buddies, man.
I know.
You get that feel good moment. You know? Now, what movie I thought was just going to be actually terrible?
Yes.
Was Rubber.
Yeah.
A telekinetic tire that just roams the desert, blowing people's heads up. Yeah. And somehow that ended up being one of the most fantastic movies ever made.
Yeah, it was so enjoyable. I mean, um, like I told you, there were moments of it where I was just like, I feel like this is a film festival. There's it just feels like a film festival movie where when you're attending a film festival and you're just kind of walking around and you might see a poster and you can picture the movie poster with that movie.
Yeah.
Like once you start watching it, you can really picture one.
I
And
thought you had said that you've actually seen the poster, but you just didn't remember it.
no, the
Okay.
one of the distribution companies.
Okay.
Remember it's like Canal Productions or Canal Films or something like that.
Yeah.
They were at a film market that I had attended in November, but they weren't at the table, so I couldn't go up and talk to them or anything. So, but no, then that's when I was like, okay, so it feels like the kind of movie. It's quirky. Um, it has this really simple yet different and unique take on a story, and it just feels like that is something where when you're walking through a film festival and you just see a random movie poster and then you would see the date and the time and what theater it's being shown
Yeah.
at. Like, and then you're like, oh, kind of, that might be interesting.
How?
Or looking through like a program and you would read then the log line and what
Yeah.
production company or distribution company and stuff.
So how does the poster look to you in your head?
It for me, like obviously because of the destruction, I would say like a blood red, like maybe background with like the tire and the title and then whatever line that's gonna like grab your attention to see it and stuff. But it's got to be propped on an easel because
definitely
yeah,
definitely. And even like on the bottom would have the times that it's showing. Like
oh yeah.
See, I'd picture it had like we get a good close up of the tire. We get the setting, the desert or whatever, but it's sunset.
Uh-huh.
It still has that blood red look to it, but it's the sunset or whatever. And maybe there's like a dead bird or whatever on the side that's like blown up or whatever. So like they're similar posters.
Yeah. But it was interesting because it started off as like the little tire that could. It was kind of like, but it was trying. It was trying, and
it was trying so hard.
I just kept saying, like, as we were watching it, I think I can. That's what it was. It was just like it was trying to move, and when it did, it took off.
Yeah, it definitely. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
This
it was so funny.
Like Kingdom of the Spiders, where we're like, where do we begin? There's so much to talk about. Like, where do we begin? And what, So
we'll begin at the beginning with the sheriff that was just talking about. It was all like this was such a perfect intro because we talked about it during the movie where like the dude's just basically saying like nothing matters or whatever in movies or whatever, which is technically true because it's a work of fiction. It's not necessarily going to affect your life unless there's like some like bygone Jim moment or whatever that really hits you in the feels or just something that could have an emotional impact on you. But in the long run, none of it really matters because it's just a movie or whatever. And like if you like you study film or whatever, like people often have these fan theories. We're all like, oh, this scene was supposed to mean this or whatever. That's why they had purple curtains in the background or whatever dumb shit. And the director, if they really like that fan theory or the writer of the movie or whatever, they're all like, yeah, that's totally what I intended the whole time. When they were just writing a scene or directing a scene or whatever that they thought was cool. Or
unless if like you did get maybe a hold of the script and see that like for some reason like a purple curtain did mean something to a character, then I'm just gonna throw in my little stuff here, but like I can see that, but I mean you do have to have those those little moments there too. So I think it's a little bit of both, but yeah, my education told me to, you know, do the analysis and do the, trying to find things.
Yeah, for
Trying
sure.
to, so when I think my whole thing was, I was like, what the hell is he talking about? And you're like, oh, I get. I'm like, no, what's he talking about? Like, 'cause I'm like, that's not how I learned. Like, that's against everything I was ever taught. Like,
Like I was watching a video on YouTube just yesterday, and apparently the Wachowski they're now the Wachowski sisters.
Mhm.
When they're talking about the first Matrix movie was an allegory for transitioning
Mhm.
or whatever. Or apparently that was a whole it was a fan theory, and now the Wachowski sisters are riding with that. It was like, yeah, it was an allegory for transitioning the whole time. It was all like, since when? Like, you didn't bring it up freaking 20 years ago when the movie came out.
Maybe it is just because it's relevant now. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe,
true.
and back then it was a little more taboo, whereas now we are, being more accepting of it. So maybe
Yeah.
that's what it was, or maybe not. I don't know. Because I mean, I know I've been in classes, and yeah, there's that, like how you had said, oh, this symbolizes something, and someone would say, oh, I see this, and were you thinking of this or did this? And I'm like, no, I just thought it was funny. Or no, this actually happened to me, so I put this in here. And and I just thought it fit the character well, or something. So yeah, there are those moments, but at the same time, there are some where it's like you really do have to look and you have to like place things specific ways and stuff. So that's why I have all of those questionnaires to answer and make sure I do before I work on a movie, so I can get everything kind of planned out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when you're at the panel at like the convention or the film festival, whatever, and they're asking you the stuff, you're all like, "Oh yeah, I intended that the whole time."
Well, I don't know if that'll ever happen. So
I have wishful thinking, and I believe in you.
No, thanks.
So yeah, we have the sheriff, we have him just talking to us, the audience, and he's just doing this whole monologue about how nothing matters.
Yeah.
And then we get the bicycle guy who now there's an audience within the movie that they're watching the same movie we're watching.
1 second.
And they're also in the movie. So it was kind of meta at that point.
Yeah, that was interesting because they each had their own personalities and takes on things, and they were all watching with binoculars.
Yeah,
so far away, but it was an interesting way of viewing and an interesting kind of.
They were the role of exposition,
Mm-hmm.
And then they also were representing us, so like help us figure out what's going on, or they might have had the same thoughts we had. And wheelchair guy.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever learned his name, but yeah, he was.
I don't think we learned any of their names.
No, I think that was one movie where it was kind of just.
I don't think any character has a name in the
name.
movie. Yeah. It's like the police, the sheriff, the dude who runs the motel, his son, and then the main gal.
Mm-hmm.
And the audience with binoculars. None of them had names, unless I'm wrong.
No. No, I don't think they did. Actually, thinking about that, I don't think they did.
So this dude rolls up on a bicycle to deliver binoculars to these people who are just standing around the desert. What? Oh, they have all the chairs set up, and he's just running over all the chairs, and then they pull him out of the trunk. Or what? They pull some dude out of the trunk. Was it bicycle guy?
Maybe because I know he was the creepy one, right? He was the creepy one.
Yeah, he was the one who was poisoning the food.
Yeah. Yeah, he was creepy. He looked like he would poison a ton of people. And like they did really well casting on that part. So
yeah, it was.
Well, and it was an eclectic audience too, which was nice to see because it wasn't just. I mean, it was just people who were curious about this, and it was just all walks of life. You had like the young.
What I'm curious about is what took place before to get them all gathered there.
I don't know. Yeah, that would be interesting to know. I don't know. Yeah, what's the story? Like, was it an annual tradition? Was it something that they had seen advertised? Was it something? Yeah. Like what brought them there? And what was, because it's almost like they didn't expect what they were experiencing too, to an extent, because they're like, I'm getting hungry, or they're like, I'm going, well, wouldn't you have known to bring food, or wouldn't you have done certain, or like gotten?
They might have been specifically told to not bring food. Food will be provided, and like
we don't know though. Yeah, but yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
No.
So, and then we get introduced to, we'll call it Rubber. We'll call the tire just Rubber.
No, it was called Robert.
Robert?
Yeah, remember? They were Robert.
Oh yeah, the end credits. End credits just said and Robert.
Yeah.
So the only thing that had a name was the tire.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Great voice acting, Robert.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's buried in the desert, and it starts moving around, starts wobbling about, like falling over. We're like, oh man, poor Robert,
Like, I think I can, because it's like it's trying.
It's trying so hard, and then boom, it figures it out. It comes across a rabbit.
Yeah, I think it was a rabbit first. I think
rabbit, and then it just blows the rabbit up as the tire starts shaking.
Yeah,
and then boom, the rabbit blows up. And then it comes across a beer bottle or some sort of glass bottle.
I think so. Yeah.
And it's at first it's trying to run it over and it can't.
Yeah.
Then it's all like, dude, fuck this. Starts vibrating again. Boom, shatters the bottle. And they're like, all right, Robert. All right, Robert. Robert the Rubber Man. Ugh.
And then there was a blackbird.
Yeah.
We got to see that later. We won't get into that part yet, but yeah. And then it just kind of goes off.
Yeah. It's rolling around. We see this girl driving down the road. She's having car problems. She has to pull over. And then this dude in the truck just like passes her by. I don't know what exactly he did to like upset her, to like make her flip him off. But
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But I don't know. He was doing something that made him a dickhead. And I'm okay with that. Like, yeah, he was a dickhead. And when Robert gets a hold of him, I'm all like, yeah, that's worth it. Fuck that guy not pulling over to help the stranded gal. But it seems like Robert was really infatuated with her.
Yeah, because there was one scene which kind of started off the whole viewing voyeur kind of aspect to it, because he was watching her in the shower.
Yeah.
But then we realized too that Robert has probably the most amazing taste in television.
Yes. He was able to get himself his own room.
I know. This tire is going places. No pun intended, but this tire is going places, man. Like,
he's watching.
He's a mover. Again, no pun intended. But young girly though. Like, he knew what was going on.
He was watching exercise tapes, or not really tapes, but like that stuff used to air a lot in like the 90s. Yeah. But this movie was like what, 2008?
Yeah, something. Yeah, in the 2000s.
Yeah, like it was watching stuff that Huh?
He was watching a nature program.
Yeah, he was watching National Geographic or Discovery Channel or something.
The hula dancers. And there's something else too. I can't remember what else it was, but yeah, there was something else though, I thought.
But then at the motel, you see the bicycle park there too. So there are like all bicycle guys staying here too. But like, isn't he in charge of like the audience or whatever? And then like all of a sudden there's like a turkey in his room.
And he gets that mysterious phone call.
I think that was from the sheriff, because those two were in cahoots, like, yeah.
But we didn't find that out till later though, that later with certain, what the hell? Something just popped up. But anyway, but yeah, we didn't realize the extent of their relationship and what was going on at that moment. We just know he got this call and there was a turkey in the room and he had to do something. And then the next scene.
It was so funny because I'm like, dude, that turkey has to gobble. And then it did. Like when it cut off away from the turkey and you hear and I was like, yes. So we know he killed the turkey. And then like he starts cooking it. And we're like, all right, like whatever.
And everyone is like super tired. They're waking up, not really giving a crap, the audience. And then doesn't the turkey come like right around that time?
Yeah, he comes in with this clearly undercooked turkey.
Yeah, and just like plops it down in front of the dad because there was a dad with his son, probably about like maybe 10, maybe
something like that. Yeah. And they're just all going ham on this fucking turkey.
That was kind of disgusting to see how
it was so bad. And like wheelchair guy,
the guy in the wheelchair.
Huh?
The guy in the wheelchair did not touch it.
He's all like, I'm good. They're all like, are you sure, dude? There's plenty.
And he's like, you're something like, it
was like 30 people eating this one turkey, like.
Yeah, he was kind of like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good.
Yeah. And I thought there was going to be something to do with this like earpiece that could defeat the tire or something. Like I know the whole time in the movie you're like, I'm waiting for the showdown between Wheelchair and Robert.
Yeah. Well, that would have been like Wheel versus Wheels. I mean, that would have been like what? I'm just saying, like, it would have been this ultimate showdown of like the power of like this motorized wheelchair and the power of this telekinetic tire. I mean, it would have been interesting. Maybe that had to be cut. I don't know. Maybe it was in a draft and they said no. I don't know. But that would have been one of my suggestions. If I had been reading and was told to give feedback, I would have been like, where's the showdown? Like, I want to see it. If it's gonna, you're gonna deliver this. Come on now.
Yeah, because they made this guy seem so important or whatever. And then he even like gets in. Yeah, he gets in the movie. Like he follows like them to where they're trying to execute or whatever the tire
with the decoy of the woman.
Yeah. But we're not there yet. This is we gotta break down scene by scene because it's so fucking bonkers. So we're still at the motel and that's how the tire got the room. It killed someone who was staying. It killed the maid.
Yes, the maid. It
killed the maid, and the son of the dude who runs the motel was all like, I just seen a tire moving on its own, and I think it killed.
Yeah.
The maid had a name. She had a name. I forgot her name, but she had a name because I remember them mentioning her, like especially when the sheriff,
like, how close was she to her brother and all that.
Yeah, the sheriff was talking to the motel manager or the guy. He's total fucking dickhead, by the way.
Yes.
He's all like, when the son is going up to him, he's all like, "Hey, I just seen the tire." He's all like, "Shut your fucking bitch." He's like trying to fix the fuse box or whatever. He's like, "Shut your bitch ass up. Go get me a pizza."
But it's important to note too, the woman the tire was watching was staying at the motel. She had gone swimming, and at one point Robert the tire had submerged himself in the water, which earlier Robert had also taken a drink from like a little puddle. So there was something with him almost like having to re-energize after all of these deaths and the vibrations to like need this water.
Yes.
Because we would see him in water or surrounding it quite a few times too.
Yes. Yeah, so like and I don't see how Robert could get refreshed by pool water. And that pool was surprisingly nice for how shitty that motel was.
Yeah, that was actually, yeah. Yeah.
Especially for like being in the middle of nowhere. Like I was a pool boy last summer, and I don't see anybody going all the way out there to service that pool unless they have a person on staff that takes care of it or whatever. Or maybe the one guy, the manager guy, you know, he's like a jack of all trades, and you know he can get it done.
Jackass of all trades.
Jackass. Seriously, fuck that guy. So like the son goes off and gets the pizza, and when he's like riding back home, he sees the dead bird.
Yes.
He sees and he goes and puts pieces of the dead bird on the pizza, which I don't blame him for doing.
Right, but here's the thing. So like in screenwriting, one of the things was plant and payoff. So you plant like something, like whether it's dialogue, whether it is, you know,
MacGuffin of some sort,
like that, you know, and then the payoff. So was seeing that bird dying and blowing up, was that the plant to the payoff of on the pizza? Or I mean, because
we never see him eat the pizza though.
After that scene,
the
guy when he goes back, the son returns. He's never like, "Where's my pizza?" We don't see him eat it. We don't see anything else. So was that the payoff? Was just putting it on there? Because even if that's the case, then where'd the pizza go? No one ate it.
No one ate
fall off of his bicycle. Where did it? Okay, sorry. I sound like I'm getting a little like, but these
no. I 100% agree.
Like, where is this? Like, if we read the script, where is this? What happened to it? It didn't just magically get up and go away. Who ate it? What was going on? Why is this guy who was so adamant about give me my pizza not asking for it?
Because I think it immediately went to like we cut back to the motel. And it's the sheriff like taking a statement with the hotel manager about the dead
the dead maid.
The maid gal, yeah. And
but then that was the only part that was really kind of like, what the? And for me in the movie, it was just we didn't get much of the pizza.
So then like the sheriff gets the call from the bicycle guy saying it's all like, we had one dude that didn't eat the food. And he's all like, all right. We got to call this shit quits like right now, whatever. So then he instantly breaks character and just starts telling everybody that none of this shit is real. And like all of his police, they're all like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean none of this is real? He's like, shoot me with your gun right now. And they do. Or like he tries to get the one person to do it, and they're like, "No, I'm not gonna." And then so he gets the next cop. He gets is like, "Shoot me with your gun right now." And then they do, and he's fine. He's even just like, "Check the body. The body's not real at all." And they do, but she's still dead. Like her head is blown up. You know. No. I think he thinks everybody's dead. Then he gets the phone call saying like, "Oh no, we have one survivor," and then he's all like, "All right, everything's back to normal." Like, something. I'm getting it mixed up, but like,
I think it wasn't something like he. he thought, oh, okay, well, the mate's dead. It's all good. This is all not like a game, but like it's not real. But then when he finds that out, is that it? Like, oh wait, there's still one more person.
There's still one more person, so we still gotta act like we still gotta play along. Yeah. That's what happened. He's like, all right, never mind, forget everything I just said, even though you just shot me in the fucking chest and I'm alive. Like,
but the tire never hurt the kid. Or
never hurt the kid. Like, the kid was like trying to have a conversation with the tire, like trying to be friends with it.
Yeah.
Like, as I would too, because like I don't want my head blown up.
Yeah. Exactly.
And maybe this tire knows things that we don't, like why it's killing the certain things that it's killing, because it didn't go after everybody. It didn't go after the gal. It didn't go after the kid. It went after people who, like, the animals didn't deserve it, but I think that was just to show us what the tire
could do. And,
yes.
Yeah, trying to get the powers. I think trying to find its way. Kind of,
but then when it starts to, like, what was that? We get a good, like, flashback of the tire's, like, previous life. Like, it was part of a car at one point, and it's just rolling around. We're like, oh shit, is this some backstory for this fucking tire?
I can't remember, but it's like I remembered that, but I can't remember what it was though. But yeah, it was.
It was so fast. It was so fast, and it made no sense. Hey, Nasser.
Oh, there were like all of these intermittent like flashes of stuff, and we're like, is this the backstory?
Yeah, and
because he kept having like the flashbacks, and we're like, whoa, what is going on? It's like remembering the past. Maybe is that it?
Yeah, and I think, now looking back at it, I think that was like, maybe there were 4 tires, that were part of this car. They were all whatever, like, super poweredly enhanced at one point, and they all just end up splitting up somehow, which leads in, like, to the end of the movie when it gets reincarnated as a tricycle, and then it starts roaming around and fucking bringing up all these other tires along with it when they're, like, trolling through California.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on in this movie.
There was, and then the guy in the wheelchair decided that he was going to go because they'd gotten the girl.
Yeah, we don't even know how they pick her up or whatever. She's just with the police all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they built a decoy that looked exactly like her. It had a bomb strapped, like, where was it? Like, right? I mean, it was pretty obvious, like, wherever it was, or like in the back or stomach or something. But it was like pretty obvious on the dummy that, like, it was a, like this. Like, it wasn't real, it was just so obvious. But
yeah, I think that tire's a dummy.
Like, if it got to her and blew up, and all it did was just blow her head off, but yet everything was still intact, so the bomb didn't go off.
But even before we got to that point, we got to another point where the dude, the bicycle guy, tries to cook up another meal for a wheelchair guy, and this scene does not make sense at all. So he comes up with this whole, like, hotel, like, tray of, like, all this food this dude cooked. He's got, like, eclairs. He's got the works.
On a bicycle.
What?
He has his own catering service on a bicycle.
Yeah. So he brings up all this food. Wheelchair guys are like, "Oh, I'm not interested." And we already know that bicycle guy is poisoning all the food, but then he ends up getting so hungry, he starts eating the food that he knows is poison because he did it. He cooked the food. Yeah. And he's like, "This is supposed to be meant for you, you son of a bitch," or whatever he says. And he's like, while he's dying from the poison.
Well, then, yeah, and then he's like, "Aren't you gonna help me?" I think there was something like that, and it's like, why should this guy help you? He poisoned
And
food
you're
that was meant for him, but you ate it. Why is he going to help you? Like, what?
yes, yes.
And if you wanted help, you wouldn't have eaten it. Like, you know.
Honestly, like, why? Like, just ride your bike back. You're like, obviously, you're not far from the motel, dude. Like, if they could see it with the binoculars or whatever, just go back and
Yeah.
cook yourself some food. Get some crow pizza. You know, like, because 100% that crow pizza or whatever blackbird that was,
Yeah.
raven, crow, whatever,
Yeah.
that pizza is going to be more nourishing than the poisonous
Right.
edibles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It might make him sick, but
Yeah.
it may not kill him.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, just you'll have some Sprite and some Alka-Seltzer, you know, you'll be all right afterwards.
Yeah.
Dude, this movie is beyond gold, Nasser.
It was really good.
This
It
movie's
was.
fantastic.
It was. And when you had sent me that, and I was like, oh, man, it just sounds weird. And
Yeah.
it was. But then when I saw the credits, the opening credits, and I saw that one of the production and distribution companies was who they were, I was like, it's a like legit movie, because the market that I had gone to doesn't have like half-assers. They didn't have those who were, you know, scammers or just ain't like, they had legit people. I had told you the story of how I went to MGM like on one of the floors. Like, they had these legit people. And so when I saw that, I was like, wow. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like the whole production quality of the movie was fantastic. The like
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna say there's zero flaws because we've already pointed out some flaws like with like build up and payoff and just stuff just happening out of nowhere off camera, which is fine, you know, like, but they could have added an extra 10 minutes, whatever, into the movie and it would have been fine.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Probably not even that much, you know, like they could have added like stuff in just to have it make more sense, but I think that might be part of just the aesthetic or whatever of just what they're trying to do is just all like from what the beginning says, like nothing matters or whatever, so like we don't have to show you how stuff happens, that it did happen. Yeah. So yeah, that's when Wheelchair Guy decides like he's gonna just fucking take this fight on his own. He's giving the police advice. He's like, obviously that thing's fake or whatever, you know, like you gotta have the real gal. Doesn't he say something like that? Like you gotta have the real girl up there.
Yeah, and what was funny was she was in the van talking.
Yeah.
And they had like the speaker coming through the decoy.
Yeah.
So it was her voice. But then she didn't want to say certain
She wanted to go off script. Yeah.
Yes. And so the sheriff took over and it was in a man's voice.
Yes.
And I'm like, this tire's gonna know the difference.
This tire's no dummy, dude. Like this tire knows what's going on.
She did end up going back and talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
The tire even came out and he's all like, seriously, guys?
Yeah.
You know, like, and then Wheelchair Guy is over there. I think he's ready to fight the tire, but then tire just like the rubber just blows him up completely. Hell yeah. Nasser's the dude who always complains to me. He's like, when are you gonna start writing again? When are you gonna like? I miss your comments. I miss all your writing. You taught me everything I know. And I'm like, no, I didn't, dude. You're good, man. I'll start writing again soon, Nasser, just for you.
I need to start writing again soon too. Well, I need to read your stuff, and then I need to work on this one idea that I have for feature, and then this one for a TV spec script that I did the pilot breakdown for already, and then I just need to kind of start working on my idea for it and then get it written. So
it'll be good.
I hope so.
I don't know much about your writing, but from what I've seen from your storytelling and stuff on Facebook, it's always like the stuff that I did read. I haven't read everything, but the ones that I did read, I'm like, dude, she's a really good storyteller. Like this is stuff that I probably wouldn't be normally interested in. Like if someone just brought it up, whatever. But if they're able to tell it in an interesting way, which you do, I'll check it out.
Yeah. Well, you did read 2 pages of that script.
Yes.
Which, because I couldn't even like see you because I had done the share screen.
Yeah.
And so I just saw and I knew exactly where you were in certain parts of reading it. Not because you were telling me to scroll down or anything, but because I knew people had reactions like that too. Those first 2 pages. And so it was like, I know exactly what he's laughing at, or I know exactly what.
Yeah. Well, I would also like read certain parts out loud that were like made me laugh harder or whatever. So yeah. So that was good. Just like the opening whatever with everything going on, I was like that was my reaction, and I was like, keep it up. This is good shit. So they do end up blowing up Robert. They end up blowing up Robert. But Robert can't die. Because it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible.
But even bad writing is better than not writing.
Yes, that is true. But I'm pretty sure I could go back and read. Like I still haven't finished your books, Nasser. Like I still have them on my nightstand, and I still haven't even bought the Eclipse Mystery Theater thing. But like there was a few stories that I really enjoyed, and then there was some I'm like, this is why I can't finish this book because it's a horror book.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a series of short horror stories, okay. And there were some that were like really good. Like and there were a lot of them that I knew that were going to be good because like Nasser emails me. Or at least he used to. I don't know if he still does because I've just been so backed up on everything. He used to email me everything that he wrote before it went into the editing and so I read not all. I read a lot of his stuff beforehand. And I'm like, oh, this one's gonna be good. I'm like, this one might need some work. This one's gonna be okay. But like. When I actually bought the book and I'm reading through it, I was all like, there was some that just made me just have to put it down. I'm like, I'll pick it up tomorrow, and then tomorrow becomes next year. I'm sure you've had those moments reading stuff.
Yeah, my friend's writing a book, so I'm really excited to see. He's about, I think, close to halfway through, if not halfway through altogether. So, can't wait to actually read that. So yeah.
So does Robert end up killing the police at all in the van?
I don't think so.
I think he just rolls away on the tricycle and they just find out that he can't be killed.
Yeah.
And then he just starts roaming around California, like either like these tires, like you see tires like all over the place as they're waking up, whatever. Yeah. Like, and is Robert giving the power to these tires, or is there just some sort of like Killdozer moment going on where like there's been meteor. There was the one scene where all those people were burning those tires or whatever, and Robert's looking at it, just saw like, you sons of bitches. Like, And that had to stink really bad because I've
Yeah.
burned some tires before, like at bonfires or whatever, and
Mhm.
that shit is like they showed it was like really smoky or whatever,
Yeah.
but that shit stinks and you can smell it like all around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like so like that had to been like really hard to film, like
Yeah.
just because that was like a mountain of tires they were
It
burning.
was. It was. There were a lot of them. It wasn't just 3 or 4. Like, it was a lot of tires that they hit.
So like I think there might have been a moment with Robert as a character where he's all like, this is fucking genocide, you know, like
Mhm.
I can't sit down, I can't sit by and watch this happen. So then when he gets reincarnated as the tricycle, or just gets his soul transferred or whatever to the
Mhm.
tricycle, and like I really think while he's roaming around, he's sending off some sort of psychic wave to other tires who could possibly become sentient
Mhm.
to roam California with him, because that's how the movie ends, is
Yeah.
like an army of fucking tires just ready to take action.
Yeah.
And it's gonna end up like Kingdom of Spiders, where like there's gonna be nothing left but these tires, and they're just gonna live in leather or rubber paradise.
They're just gonna all these tires living in the Hollywood Hills.
Just like hanging out at the beach, you know, having a good time, killing seagulls. Like whatever, dude, whatever they want to do. You can't kill them.
That might be a good segue for our next movie night. My choice was Blood Beach.
Oh yeah,
Yours was it
Pauly Shore's dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, we gotta schedule when we're doing that.
We do, and we have to schedule the next one too, next WeinerCast, because that one's going to be awesome.
Oh my god, what was it? Cool as Ice.
Cool as Ice,
Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Dude, that Cool of Ice movie.
I actually kind of want to watch it again. We just have a night where you and I just watch that again, just because it yeah.
We could probably just watch it after this cast. I don't fucking care. I was telling a coworker about it. I was like, dude, you ever see that Vanilla? This kid's like 18. And I was like, you ever see that Vanilla Ice movie? North by Northwest is a good movie. It's not like...
Yeah, North by Northwest is one of my favorites. I watch like...
we're trying to watch bad movies, Nasser.
Yeah. Yeah, because if we're watching good movies, there are so many that, I mean, yeah, I love North by Northwest. Like I said, like, I just found last night, and I saw this in a theater in Chicago. It's a silent film, Nosferatu, and it's almost 100 years old. But sometimes in either the suburbs or in Chicago, they will have, obviously not now, but like up till last year, they would have an organ player come in. So as you're watching the silent film, he's playing the music live. It's pretty damn cool. It's a cool experience to have. Yeah, I really enjoy it. So now, even though I don't get to experience that, yeah, I did find that like that movie's online. So
the only thing I know about Nosferatu is actually both Nasser and we watch Cinemassacre on YouTube, and James Rolfe, he's really into horror of like all types, whatever. He really likes older movies, and he did a whole breakdown of which Dracula movies are most accurate to the book or whatever. And he talks about Nosferatu. He talks about every single Dracula movie, and he ranks them about how close they are to the book or which parts have it the most or whatever. And he'll bring up Nosferatu as, you know, it's I think that one, I don't remember the ranking or whatever, but I just know that
they changed a lot from what some like film historians have said like they changed a lot, and but I will say that yeah, and then there's like Phantom of the Opera, which I've seen that live with the live music. That's awesome. And with Lon Chaney, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, stuff like that. I mean, like I love silent films. So yeah, if we were watching good movies, I mean, there's like a ton that I think you and I could both, I mean, it would be endless, but finding the bad movies or the ones that we think are going to be bad, sometimes it's a little more fun.
Yeah, there'll probably be a point. There'll probably be a point where we do watch good movies at some point.
Yeah.
But we're gonna track down all the bad stuff first.
As long as people still believe that, this is the greatest story I've ever told, and it's really one of the worst stories I've ever told, and how it got funded and produced, we'll always have something to watch,
Yes. And some people just really enjoy making bad movies too. It's just because they know there's a market and like there's a good audience for it, and you'll always have us.
Yeah. Absolutely. We will watch.
Oh man. Yeah, so I guess next week, possibly we'll try to shoot for next week. We'll review Cool as Ice and Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, where do you rank Rubber?
Oh yes, I'm gonna give it an 8 because it is enjoyable. It's quirky. It is something unusual and different. Still enjoyable. Not as bad as what I thought it was going to be. Production was great. Again, just like I mentioned with Kingdom of the Spiders, scenery was beautiful. I mean, all those
outfits. It was like there's something
I mean,
it was, desert that's just like.
I mean, there were just a lot of positives. There were a few of those things. I'm a little ticked. I still want to know what happened to the bird pizza, and why didn't anybody care afterwards? Like they sent the kid out to get it. Then all of a sudden, it's not there, and they don't care. Like just little things like that. But yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.
I'm gonna follow you with the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it an 8. I was close to giving it a 9, but there was just too many things that we just don't know. Like, we don't know why the audience is there. We don't know what happened to the Raven pizza. We don't know how the gal linked up with the police. We don't know
why the tire is so fascinated with her, period.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, he's infatuated with her, and then the short little backstory we got of Robert, like we don't really know like what's if that is backstory or like of him just being a part of the Cadillac or whatever car that was, and just rolling around, just like those were the days. You know, like me and my 3 brothers just roaming the streets.
There was another part of that movie where I can't remember exactly what it was, but I'm like, is this the moment where, and then it was like something kind of deeper. And I'm like, if that's the case, then what he said about nothing matters and, nothing at the beginning, I'm like, this could easily be a moment where it is. And I can't remember. I don't know if it was the flashbacks or if it was something else having to do with the tire. I can't remember what, but it was something toward the end, like end of Act 2, beginning Act 3 type of thing.
That is one thing I do like about this movie. The acts are just all sort of just blended together, and it did tell just like a nice, coherent story. Like the first act, we have like him, Robert, learning what he can do and just like realizing that he's alive, and then we get introduced to the audience or whatever, all that, and then the act 2 sort of happens like right away.
Yeah.
With everything going on, and then like yeah, they just all like you can't really tell when the actual like transition is between acts, but
Yeah,
you
it's
can
not like
tell
it's
when
a
you're
classic.
in the
Yeah,
actual.
it's not like it's a classic 3-act or like kind of set up, but there are elements of it, but yet,
Yeah,
you know,
you can
I'd
tell
almost
when
like
you're
to see
in
it
one
again to
spot
see if
from
it
the.
would fall under like a Save the Cat or Hero's Journey type of thing. Like I'd almost have to watch it with like both of those there. I am more comfortable writing the Sid Field 3-act structure as opposed to Save the Cat or The Hero's Journey. So I'd have to really like
Yeah.
sit down with notes from those, watch it like a version of with
This
it, and
this
then
did
almost
have a lot
use
of
it
elements
to,
of the hero's journey, even though
yeah,
like, Robert's not necessarily a hero, but he did go through that sort of circle
yeah,
structure.
yeah. Circle like a tire.
Yes, maybe that's what they were going for. Nothing matters,
Maybe.
but everything matters at the same time.
Yeah,
Oh shoot!
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that too.
Is Save the Cat like rescue like the damsel in distress types sort
I
of
have to
story,
go through
or
my notes and see. Like I said, I'm a little more comfortable with the 3-act, more of like following that structure, but
yeah?
we had to learn all three.
Okay.
But it's like just gravitate more toward like what you kind of feel, and that was just more of what I felt.
Yeah, definitely. Um, anybody? I had to bootleg Rubber, but if anybody can find it, dude, it's a definite watch. I think you can buy it or rent it on YouTube.
I
I'm
think
not.
so. Yeah.
Um, and I think it'd be worth the money. You know,
I
like
think it would be too. Yeah.
yeah, it's a solid film. I recommend it to anybody. Um, Save the cat just means your protagonist needs to do something like saving a cat, but then the rest of the book is trash because it says X has to happen by page
Yeah. Yeah.
by every single.
Yeah. And there are some readers who will turn down scripts if it's not Save the Cat structure. Yeah. So that's the only thing they want. And so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of figured, but like the main thing was just like, yes, the hero has to like do whatever, like save the company, save the person, save the whatever. But then,
I
yeah, the rest is just
Breakdown
filler.
version, which were like my like all of our PowerPoints that we had in grad school. So it was like they have those to download as well. So I downloaded all those, so I have like all the slides for it. So that has that and like the hero's journey type stuff. But it
Yeah.
was just like I tried writing with some of those, and and even outlining with it, and I'm just like I'm not. It's just I'm not feeling it. You know.
I like the one novel I'm writing. It's a fantasy novel, so like it's gonna most likely be like I've got like only like first 2 chapters written, but like how I always plan it, it does follow more of the hero's journey, just because like there's a lot of stuff that's going on in it, and then when we get introduced to the main character when he's like a young child and he can barely speak, like he's still like mix it like his L's and R's sound like W's and like all that, you know, like, he's a little kid, but then like I think in like chapter 3 or 4, you know, he's already like close to a grown man, like in his like teens. What like it's just gonna have a huge time jump. Just because like it would be boring just to like have this kid, this little like 7-year-old kid or whatever, just like we're just go throughout his life, whatever. Like the shit, not this, like the first 2 chapters or 3 chapters, whatever, is just like building the world and structure of like what's going on.
Yeah.
And then we do the time jump, and I don't know. I watch too many cartoons that do this. I agree with that too, Nasser.
I agree and disagree, but I come from a little different school of thought. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
anything else you want to?
I don't have anything else, really. Yeah.
Man, this was fun. This was insightful.
It was.
I like to thank Nasser and Little Boy, aka Hentai Slayer, for joining in on the live chat. You guys are always great just to interact with us, and it just makes it always a little bit better. Like the last time we didn't have any Godzilla
right when we were leaving.
Yeah.
And it's like you missed the entire conversation.
But then we like when he joined us, we ended up just like still chatting for like an extra like half hour.
Yeah. Well, he was telling us what movies to watch, and they were all these like really old like 50s movies that were like about giant ants and killer ants and killer monsters and stuff. Yeah.
It's all good stuff. Nasser's over here telling us watch fucking Alfred Hitchcock movies. Like those are good. He's like, watch the Psycho sequels. Watch North by Northwest. Like, you're telling us to watch good movies. Yeah. I will come by your channel sometime. I miss seeing your stuff. Last time I checked, you didn't have anything new for a while, but that was like a month and a half ago. So I'll come check you out, dude. I gotta ring your bell, dude, so I know when stuff is happening. Because it's only boomer talk. I just thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Reika, for coming by and just having a blast. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you, no matter what.
With you too.
It's like next week, or shoot for next week, where we're gonna discuss Cool as Ice and Super Mario Brothers, like mentioning that for like the 80th time.
Yeah. I think because we're so excited about Cool as Ice. I think that's why.
That movie was. Yeah, I was telling a coworker about it. I was like, "You seen that Vanilla Ice movie?" He's all like, "Vanilla Ice is in a movie?" I was like, "Yeah."
I didn't even know that until like a few weeks ago. Like till like a week beforehand. My boss at work, my immediate boss, told me about because we were talking about like reboots of shows and stuff from like the 80s and 90s and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, one of my go-tos with my girlfriends was Cool as Ice," and we're just like, okay. And she's like, "That it's the Vanilla Ice movie," and we were like, wait, what? He had a movie? And then she's like, pull it up on YouTube because work, like the office was closed, and so we were all just kind of hanging out afterwards talking, and that was and it was the scene where he's in his orange jacket and he's going up to the douchebag boyfriend and Kat for the first time, and we get a really good look at those bricks carved into his head, and he says dish that zero and get yourself a hero. That whole thing, that whole scene.
Oh shoot,
that one.
That's a good like introduction or whatever to how wacky this movie is going to be. But then you're gonna get.
I just mentioned a lot in just that one like little video like thing. Yeah. There was a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and you're going to find out all about it next time. And also, I got my Patreon up. I'm in the process of putting videos on there right now. Anybody wants to check those out? I got 2 part. I have to cut all these videos down to like. It's like I recorded a 3-hour video of Jeremy and I watching. We started our Adam Sandler marathon. So we're watching Going Overboard, Adam Sandler's first movie ever, which is fucking. Go watch our discussion for that.
I heard about it when I was in high school, and I heard some things about it. So yeah,
it's something else. I don't want to get too much into it because we got a whole review on it that's up right now. But yeah, and then we watched Coneheads, and in between that, we watched the Alex Jones clip that you sent us. You sent me.
Why is he holding the megaphone? Like, I have a drink here, just water, but like, why is he with Hollywood actually? From the last time I was in LA at a film festival, when I was at the Beverly Hills Film Festival, I had to kill time because it was near the Man's Theater and all the souvenir shops, so I got this. But anyway, he was holding the megaphone like this. If you notice, he didn't have it like, I mean, he was holding it like to the side. It was so,
yeah.
And that whole thing was just so funny because like I mean, I get it. I have glasses, so there are times where it does feel like it's cutting in or something. But those glasses were so tight on his head, like it was like digging in.
Yeah, I've seen that, and like with so many people with glasses, like it seems like they never take their glasses off, and then their head starts to like slowly grow, and it just forms around.
I know
the ear hooks.
Yeah.
So
but that was just insane. I saw that. I was just like, oh my god.
So like I got to cut down this 3-hour video into 15-minute segments just for the file size to fit on the Patreon. So bear with me as I'm chopping these videos up and placing them on the thing. I'm gonna have that same problem with us probably because I was gonna record our future movie sessions.
That's going to be another 3 hours that you're going to have to do.
I know. But I think there's a way for Patreon, like I can record it live on Patreon, and people who are members or whatever, they can tune in with us. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to be looking more into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the Patreon up. I forgot to put a link in the description below because I was too focused on putting a link for the WeinerCast song. Yeah. Burbank, seeing your name makes me happy. But anyways, I've been stalling you guys for too long. Let's tune in next time. I don't know when next time is ever because this scheduling and availability for everybody. Maybe we'll start part 2 of Adam Sandler. I don't know. So thank you guys again, and catch you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.